I'm Adrienne Giffen. Welcome to Now You're Talking, the podcast. I believe real conversation connects us in a distracted world. One of the greatest gifts you can give your family and yourself is your presence. Because leadership doesn't begin at work, it begins at home. This is your space to pause, to listen, to reflect. Your journey toward deeper connections starts right here. Today's conversation is for every parent who has ever wondered, am I doing this right? My guest today is Dina Shanowitz, founder and CEO of Zomee, and a mother of 5 who turned her own breastfeeding challenges into something meaningful for other moms. What began as a personal struggle became a mission to support families with better tools, better information, and most importantly, better support. In this conversation, Dina shares what she learned through postpartum life, entrepreneurship, and raising a family, and why community, honesty, and listening to other moms matters more than perfection. Because when parents feel supported, families grow stronger. Let the conversation begin. Dina, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm so interested to hear about your journey as an entrepreneur, a mother of 5, and how you're holding it all together with your relationship in this digital era.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me today. And I will say it's not easy, especially with, raising children. My oldest is 12. Preteen girl. Yes. So that's definitely emotionally draining, very different than the physical changing of the diapers and feeding. Like, I have a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, 6-year-old. Sorry, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old. I'm not.
You could possibly keep track. I mean, cut yourself some slack.
Yeah, I had my 1-year-old now. She's between teething and not feeling well. She's like in my bed as a newborn. So you still have those sleepless nights, even at 1, even after the newborn stage. But I feel like being a mom of 5 and running a business and being a wife, it's super important to really map out your day to know what you're going to do and to really stick to schedule and structure, because otherwise there's no way you could do it all. And something that I have felt for me has been very successful is my kids wake up 6 a.m. I'm present, making sure that they're getting ready for school, have their breakfast, lunch, they get out of the door. And that's really when I spend my time working. And I'll barely even look at my phone during that time, because it's just work where I'm focused. Yes. And 5 o'clock hits and they're back, and really try to just get off the phones and just be present. And I feel like, especially as your kids get older,
yes,
I have 2 girls that are, I have my 10-year-old and 12-year-old, they need you and they feel it when you're not present. So that was something I took upon myself as my girls got older. And I'm like, there's no way I could continue working when they come home from school and all of that, and be a present mother who's giving them the proper attention they need. And especially nowadays, to raise children, you need to give them attention. When they don't have it at home, there's that's when problems arise. So I really took it upon myself. And then I do, try to spend at least an hour a night just talking to my husband, whether we're sitting outside. We're in the warm Florida, so we always get nice weather. And really just try to structure it a way where being present at all times, whatever you're doing, and not distracted by other things, really help you stay focused and present.
That's easier said than done, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so share about your business, and why Zomee, why breast pumps? Where did it start? Why the name? I have so many questions for you.
And they're all great questions. Well, to start, so my first, who is now 12, was a preemie, and she was in the NICU, and I was exclusively pumping. My background was special education, so very different than breast pumps. And I was working in a school with special needs.
Yes.
And I was traveling. I'm originally from New York, so I would travel on subway with my large, chunky Medela Symphony that I would plug into the wall in the bathroom and pump, and then go back and pump. And it was such a nightmare. And I was just bawling because I couldn't. I wasn't able to do both. I was struggling. I was exclusively pumping. And I remember saying, it's one or the other. I can't do both. Pumping was a full-time job. I ended up quitting my job and was full-time pumping. And it was the most, I just felt like I failed. Like I couldn't do both. Why couldn't I continue working and be a mom? Why are things so difficult? Like I'm not doing something right. I suck at being a mother and being able to, have a proper life. And after that, that's really what got me into pumps, because after my experience being married to a pump for over a year and a half, I realized that there's so many things I wish they had, aside for the portable and rechargeable options, which we were one of, the first companies to create. Now there's many on the market, but also to have some unique features that will help with milk supply. Because at the end of the day, no matter how beautiful a pump is, nobody wants to pump. Everybody wants to pump it and get on with their day. So we really developed unique features that help with milk supply. And so we have this alternate mode technology where instead of pumping both breasts at the same time, it will alternate from side to side, which really helps moms get a quicker letdown, which in turn allows mom to bring in more milk in less time. And we have a nipple correction mode. So for those moms that have flat or inverted nipples, which I was one, it's very difficult to pump and get proper output when your nipples are not fully extracted. So this feature really helps with those moms. We included a Shabbat mode that is certified by, and has certification for those Orthodox Jewish women that can't use any electronics on Shabbat and need to be able to pump. So we really took every feature that could be helpful.
Yes.
Every, group of moms struggling and putting it all together. And goal more than anything was to support every mom, no matter what her walk of life is, no matter what she's like. And in general, I always say that no two moms are the same, just like, pants don't fit every woman the same way.
Yes.
With pumps. And we really try to make it so customizable for each mom that no matter what their experience is, whether, they have 6 ounces on one side and 1 ounce on the other side, I need to extract and be comfortable. We also have an option on some of our pumps where you could customize each breast separately. So
yes,
breasts are not twins, they're more like sisters. So we have a feature like that. So we really just try to make it as customizable as possible for moms so that they can all, have a positive pumping experience.
Melissa, so from your struggle, you created this so other women wouldn't have to go through the same pain that you did.
I did.
Yeah.
When I started, I didn't know what I was doing, and said, I'm getting into this because I want to help moms, not knowing how this would take off.
Yes.
Looking back, it's just amazing to see.
Well, because there's so much being a mother for myself and always breastfed as well. There's I feel badly for moms who struggle with that. Because, and you said yourself that you felt like you were a bad mom, and it was all sort of connected to that. And I just feel badly. So you're trying to make it as easy as possible.
Yes, that's the goal. As well as we do have additional support, not just the pumps, but we do have our mom line, which is
good.
Full moms that support other moms. And they're all basically our customer service line, but they're all moms that, aside for just technical support, but walking them through features and settings and just life in general, having a newborn.
Yes.
So we're trying to also create a support system for moms where they're able to speak to somebody that understands where they came from and can help and support them through their pumping journey. That was really something that I felt also there was a gap and something that was needed.
Yes. And so how do moms access that mom line? Is there a phone number that we can put in the show notes?
Sure.
Or is there access? Yeah. So we can do that, because I think that's such an essential service, because being a mom, you can feel so alone. And especially at that newborn stage where lots of moms don't feel comfortable going out into the world right away. So it's, yeah.
A lot of moms that will call our mom line and say,
yes,
I don't want to speak to anyone. And I haven't even picked up the phone to speak to anyone. You're the first one I spoke to since I had the baby. And thank you. And just like words of encouragement from our moms and,
Yes.
letting them know that this is normal and it's okay makes moms more confident in what they're doing.
That this is just a phase that will, again, it's hard to, there's sleepless nights and, everything's new and confusing. It's hard to put that into perspective.
Yes. And when you don't have the right support,
yes,
it's a nightmare. And my first, the biggest issue was I thought everything would be nice and dandy. And then I got hit between baby with tongue tie, inverted nipples, everything all at once. And if I would have had that support initially, would have really helped my journey. And I remember looking at anyone that had more than one child. I'm like, I don't know how they do it. My coffee doesn't even stay hot. And like 5 children later, I could actually drink a hot coffee. And it's just, it's with this right support, things are like, you can do anything.
And so why the name? Why Zomee?
So I am a daddy's girl, and my father's name is Zomee, who was one that really pushed me to do this. So
very cool.
It was close to his name, so we call it Zomee after him.
Listen to that. That's wonderful. That's great. I'm glad I asked. And so besides sort of compartmentalizing your life, and I'm sure, again, I don't think that's as easy but it's probably a constant choice that you make to compartmentalize. What are some other things that you can share that how do it's impossible to do it all, but how do you do it all as much as you do?
Right. I mean, I definitely have an amazing husband who is there to pitch in with the kids. I do travel sometimes. So when I'm traveling, he'll really be present and be there for the kids between doing their homework, putting them to bed, which is incredible. I would not be able to do it without him. So thank God for my husband. But aside for that, I do feel that, just really like you have to structure your day. You have to organize your day. Otherwise, things like, I know that when my kids come home, I put the phone away from me. I don't even have it next to me because I know if the phone is next to me, I'm done. I'm going to answer this email and this, this message. So it's more of like, okay, I'm not looking at it until I'm done, and then I'll focus again. I don't sleep much. I go to bed early, finish up what I have to do, but that's my process.
So again, with a 12-year-old all the way down to 1, you are dealing with kids that are completely different stages as it pertains to the digital era.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that? Because the 1-year-old and I think you said 7 and 6, they're all watching. So how do you manage the digital and the screens?
Yes. So we're actually very not into screens. We're very against it in general. We do live in Florida, so weather really allows them to play outside, scooter, go on their scooters, swim, soccer, sports. My girls love sports, so that, between basketball and all of that really keeps them busy. I have to say, I'm very blessed. I have an amazing 12-year-old, the oldest, who is a little mommy and will, make sure all the kids are taken care of. She definitely has her hormones, but really I think that when at the end of the day, the parents are an example for their children. So when the parents, that right example, for example, with screen, right? If you're on the screen, why can't I be on the screen? So more of like with the kids, try to avoid being on the screen as much and move it away has definitely, I've seen the difference right there. So again, that's why I do put, you have to be an example. So I put my phone away at that time, but also knowing that, there's so much activities that they could be doing outside and allows them to really, whatever is going to make them continue to be, occupied outside and have fun a different way aside for just watching the screen. We're really into that, whether it's, different outside activities after hours, which is not always fun, something you got to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Try to keep them busy. And I feel like every kid also has like, something that they enjoy and something that, their talent that they're busy with. And when they enjoy what they're doing, whether it's, piano lessons or soccer or basketball, whatever it is, that keeps them motivated, wanting to do that.
And I always think, my kids all have to find their own special thing. With with 5. That's a lot of special things.
Right. Yes. And some have more than one.
Right.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Go through a lot of classes and lessons.
Yeah. But just how do you differentiate? There's so much chaos, and there's fun in chaos too. And that's a really positive thing for a family as well. But how do you manage all that in a daily basis, all that chaos?
Right. There definitely is a lot going on, but I will say that my children all, thank God, get along well, and they're all a team. They work together, and it's adorable to see because they take care of each other, make sure they're doing well. If there's, when they want to do something together as a family, I say you all have to agree. We're not going to 3 different places.
Yes.
And we just had winter break. So it was like, okay, guys, make up your mind where you're going. So at the end, my kids all decided on one place, and they know that if they don't all agree, and we're not going to do nothing. So they do agree.
Well, that's good. That's good. So going back to the Zomee.
Yeah.
Tell me share please some stories, some really positive stories from moms, if you can think of some that stand out.
Yeah. Please. One in particular, I had a mom that actually reached out to us. Her baby was in the NICU. She was going to give up pumping altogether. In the hospital, they have, because we do work with some providers that provide our pumps in the hospitals. And in the hospital, they gave her a Zomee pump. In the beginning, she mentioned she was done, wasn't, not even wanting to continue this journey. It's so hard and difficult. And she did also get a pump at the hospital, which she had to plug in. It was large. It was bulky. She had to sit in one. She was actually sitting in the closet there. She mentioned when she got her pump, she literally was able to just travel around. She was back and forth in the NICU. It was just such a positive experience. And with our pump, was able to continue pumping and feeding her milk versus having to supplement. And something like that, being that I had similar situation and went through that, when I hear that a mom, because I was at that stage as well, where I was just done. I was quitting. It was too difficult. It was too much. And having a mom and understanding where mom came from and seeing how she continued to pump and feed her baby her own milk and use our pump is just such it's such a great feeling to know that.
Yes.
You accomplished what you wanted to help moms and specifically in situations where they have, there's limited milk and their baby's relying on their milk.
Yeah.
So something like that is always a positive. There was also, we have one of our pumps that have a nipple correction mode for moms that have flat or inverted nipples. And there was one mom that wasn't able to nurse her baby because her nipples were so flat. And the only way she was able to do it was to pump. And she was finding with normal pumps that it wasn't allowing her to get proper output because it wasn't pulling her nipple all the way out. And we do have with one of our pumps a nipple correction mode that the goal of that was to really extract the nipple in situations where mom have flat or inverted nipples. And she said because of that feature on our pump was able to, to be able to provide her milk and to be able to pump and get at proper output. So definitely, this is honestly what keeps me going. When you hear this positive feedback and know that you are making a difference in moms' lives, because having a baby is not easy. And no peace of mind in one area.
Yeah. And nobody prepares you for how challenging it's going to be. So I really like the fact that you've created a community of moms, because it can be so lonely. And I think it's even more lonely in the digital era.
Yes.
And yeah. Because
nobody
moms
wants to
watch
phone anymore. They're just watching on Instagram how these new moms just delivered and look like models and feel like, why do I look like this? I'm done. And, meanwhile, everything is fake and everything is like, there's so much misconception when you see all these stuff on social media, thinking you have to be a certain way. It's just like, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, isolating when you feel like everybody else has got it together, but right. You're struggling. And I think, the social media really emphasizes that. Knowing what you know now from an entrepreneur's perspective, Dina, from a mom's perspective, relationship, whatever is the first thing that comes into your mind, and looking at where you are, your business and your family, what would you do the same And what would you do differently?
I feel like it took me time to, like I said, with this structure and schedule, it took me time to get here. And I was always super hard on myself, if anything I did. I wish I wasn't so hard on myself because, especially early stages of growing a business, like my baby was 2 weeks. I was flying out to appointments at 2 weeks and thinking back, at the end of the day, I am a big believer of, you have a God running the world and he has a plan and whatever's meant to be is meant to be. And you got to, you got to live. And I feel like it was just a lot. I was, between trying to build Zomee up and all the mistakes I did in the beginning, of all the traveling at crazy stages of my life, like, 9 months pregnant, about to give birth and 2 week newborn. I should have done it differently. I feel like also a lot of times we're very into making sure that our children are okay and business is running and, our spouse is good, but we come last many times.
Yes.
What happens with that is you're human, you're one person and, you'll collapse. And I feel like with, this was my third, once the business was thriving and, I was moving all over and traveling, I worked till last minute. And after I delivered, hormones and your body takes such a shift and always so much at the time. I hit postpartum depression where it was a lot. And it was I overdid myself. I overstrained myself. And it took me 6 weeks to really get out of it. And it was more of I wish if I would have gave myself some grace at the end of my pregnancy and just, take it a little easy, would have changed things. And I feel like we have to listen to our bodies, especially as a mom. Mm-hmm. I always feel like a healthy mom is healthy children. And you really need to take care of yourself. So something I learned with my fourth and, but I will say that helped me tremendously. I wish I would have done that earlier on.
Okay. So that's what you would do differently. What would you do the same? What's really working? Well?
I will say that one of the things that I was always very invested to was as, a business owner, sometimes you're not necessarily always, you're running the business. You don't hear the feedback that comes in on a regular basis. You're not one-on-one with the moms or with the actual consumers. It's something I always, when I built the company, I built it off feedback from moms and lactation consultants. And people would always say, you got to move away from this. You're so busy with other stuff. You shouldn't be preoccupied with, speaking with the moms and the feedback and all of that. And I felt like this was something that I always held on to and will continue to. Today, these moms and lactation consultants that you're connecting with one-on-one and getting feedback on is what really helps Zomee grow and continue to grow.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, that keeps it real and genuine. And so that's great that because boy, when I see how things have changed since when I just, it's just, my goodness, it's just a completely different world.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I know. But you know what? Even from 5 years, it's insane how much changed.
Really? Yeah. Yes. So I always think as a mom, there's a silent transformational change that's happening behind the scenes. And for me, it wasn't until I looked back that I see this change. But for you being an entrepreneur, a founder, CEO of Zomee, and then also a mother of 5, what's the transformational change do you think that's happening to you as you evolve in all these different areas?
You really learn to be patient in all areas between children of all ages, business in general. Nothing happens overnight. It takes time to grow and to see the rewards of what you planted. So I think really definitely something that I learned and take with me and feel like it actually allowed me to change, just change my approach a bit in, whether, sometimes you have to repeat yourself 5 times until your child listens, but to be a little more with that and that end. And then, you know what I'm saying, in all aspects, I think that was something that helped. I don't know if that answered your question or.
Yeah, well, no, it just, I mean, learning to be patient and learning to be kind to yourself. Those are lessons that lots of us take a lifetime to learn.
Yes. Yes.
With kids, they can sort of fast track those lessons.
Yeah. Yes.
A little bit. Yeah. May I ask you some questions off of my board game? Sure. Now we're talking. Oh, good. Thank you. What is it? And I love that you mentioned your dad. What is your favorite childhood memory, please, Dina, that involves food?
My favorite. So I'm a big salad person. I like all different types of salad. And growing up, my mother was always, you know, like, why are you paying for a salad? You can make a salad in the house. Like, it's just, you know, not something you have to do. And me and my father actually would always go out and buy our own salad. He had this salad bar that it was all these like having toppings and vegetables and we used to have a good time. Like that was like our Thursday night thing me and my father used to do. And then my mother would always look at the recipe after. Oh, that's good. So that was one-on-one time. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I'm one of 11. So
you're what?
I'm one.
You're one of 11?
Yeah.
Where are you on the sibling scale?
Second to oldest. Yeah, my oldest had it hard, and I just got away with everything that my oldest had the pressure to do. But yeah, it was amazing though. It is so amazing. So I wouldn't do it any other way.
It's just mind-boggling. Is your mom still talking in sentences?
My mother's amazing. And you know what? You look at her and you're like, you know what? These 11 kids keep you young. She looks incredible. I just feel that in general, when you do have, like, at the end of the day, there's nothing like family. When you have siblings, like you have your best friends and like, you know, your deepest, darkest secrets.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Like, goodness, that's amazing. And do all your siblings live relatively close to one another, or are they all over?
We have a few in Florida, a few in New York. Yeah, but we like to. Our family reunions are fun.
Oh, they must be so fun, and your dinners must have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Boy. Well, so this leads up to that. What is your favorite family tradition?
So actually, for the holiday of Passover,
yes,
we actually all get together. Being that, you know, on Passover, I'm an Orthodox Jewish woman, so we don't use our phones at all, like no electricity, and everyone's just talking and laughing, and everyone's present. Nobody is just texting. It is like the most amazing. It's amazing, and we have days of that, so it's incredible.
7 days of that. Oh, I don't even know. Oh, wow. The roof must almost come off with all that.
And we're up till 3 a.m. There's always more to say, and everyone's just tearing with laughter. It's incredible. Yeah,
that's fantastic. So that is a tradition that it keeps you present.
Yeah, we do.
Too. Yeah, what a gift, really.
It really is.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I'll just ask a couple more. What's the next step that you will take towards achieving a big goal?
Well, we have a lot of exciting new things coming.
Yes.
And we are actually working on something that is patented, which was a very big goal to get something patented. Very exciting. And very unique and different than all others. I think that, in general, when going back to like feedback, listening to feedback from moms and lactation consultants, gathering all of that, and now putting on your, thinking cap and trying to figure out what's going to be most effective and efficient for our moms, because at the end of the day, with whatever we do, we want it to be practical, something that's used. We are always working on. So I would say next goal is with this product. I know it's something that we're already, in development on, but something that we are looking to really hit the market in May. It's going
Fantastic.
and something that is it's a pretty big deal for us and a goal that we've been trying to reach for a while.
And how great that you've stayed so connected to people that are using your product, understand your product, know that there's challenges in the whole, that segment of life. So that's fantastic that you stay so close to what's really real. Yeah. I'll be excited to see that. Yeah, that's fantastic. What life experience, Dina, changed the course of your life?
I think what really, I think what really changed things after I had my postpartum with my third and going through that and just taking a step back to realize like what's important and what's priority. A lot of times you forget what priority is and you're so involved in like, in general, when you are a business owner, there's no shut off time. You're fully on at all times. And that's great. But it also has its cons because, then you're married to your business at all times, and you don't know how to separate. And I think like learning to separate and understand, I feel like that you have to really prioritize what's most important. Like, I feel like, as seeing with my third and seeing that like, I'm a mom, I'm bringing a child into this world. Like, this is going to be nobody could replace you. When it comes to business, you could bring a CEO in, you could bring someone in to help with the, company, but nobody could replace the mom. And knowing that, how important that is and making a shift in priorities.
That was like, sort of like a mirror to you in a way.
Yeah.
Was that, you didn't have any postpartum with your other kids, just this.
Yeah. I was also on overdrive with the business. So it was like, I was
right.
And
yes.
That's really, I was like, at that point, I remember, I was like, as you're chasing the train that's not stopping and you keep chasing it, but it's not stopping. And it's like, when is this going to stop? So it was like, reality.
So life came along and said, it's time to stop.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's, yeah.
I wouldn't say so. Just prioritize. Like,
prioritize. Yeah.
And have structure in, that's why I say scheduling is so important because.
What strength do you have when overdone becomes a weakness?
I do think I'm very persistent and I don't take no for an answer. And even when people slam the doors on you or hang up the phone on you or are rude to you, you call them back in a few months or you go up in a few months. You know what? And after the one time they hung up or slammed the door, typically they don't do it again, I've found. And then they'll listen. So
because they know you're not going away.
Right. And they appreciate, in a weird way, they appreciate that you are persistent.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your answers. Words of wisdom. What are some words of wisdom that you can share, Dina, with other parents, other business owners, whatever the first thing is that comes into your mind?
I would say, especially going back to my first, there's never, there's no perfect, every mom is perfect in their own way. And don't, I guess, label yourself as, I'm not like this one, especially like going into the screens and social media, looking at ways moms are now with their clean, spotless home and their kids well dressed. You have to remember that, like, don't compare, and you are amazing at where you're at, and not to put that pressure on yourself, because you can go nuts when you put that pressure on yourself and you feel like I'm not good enough. And, look at these people. I would say don't compare and appreciate and value who you are, because everyone is doing the best job they can and everyone is an amazing mom in their own way. And I just think that that's something that, and get off social media when it comes to this, because sometimes it could be so depressing when you see this mom running back to the gym 3 weeks after she had the baby with, her freshly cooked dinners. And, it's just, a lot of it is, it's deceiving. And I think, like, just focus on you. And
yes.
And yeah, it's hard on yourself. You are doing the best you could do at that stage, and don't compare. It's the worst when you start comparing.
Yes. And how can you talk a little bit more about community too? Because you've got the mom line I think the community is so important, but not a social media community. And maybe if it's the right community, but I'm saying like a place where moms can connect and talk with one another and really empathize with one another.
I think picking up the phone sometimes is really nice because now everything is text, right? We email and text and we're not even talking anymore. But to have a voice is so powerful sometimes and can really bring encouragement. And when it comes to like new moms that, are struggling or just to hear from other moms, their experience and what helped. And I feel like that's so valuable. And that's really why we created that mom line, for extra support where where moms can speak to real moms and help them aside for just their pump itself. And we also have lactation support so moms can get the support they need. Like in my situation, I didn't have support in the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. And just, I feel like in general, the, support and someone that gets where you're coming from, another mom is so helpful. And that's definitely something that Zomee is, a big believer in and feels that it's more than just providing a pump to moms, but that support is priceless.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Dina, thank you very much for sharing and for being here today. You're an inspiration. You've taken your own adversity and you've turned that outward to help other moms. And so that you're sharing your inner light with the world based on what you've been through to help support moms so they don't have to go through the pain that you endured.
Yes.
So thank you for doing that.
Thank you for having me on and being able to give over that information. And I feel like if, this can help any mom watching this, it's where, it because our goal is really, and I love what you're doing too. And I feel like at the end of the day, as much support as moms could get and information they could get is always priceless.
Dina's story is a powerful reminder that the moments that stretch us, especially in parenthood, often become the moments that shape us. Support matters, community matters, and sometimes the simplest conversations with another parent can make the hardest days feel less lonely. I'm Adrienne Giffen, and you've been listening to Now You're Talking. If something in this conversation spoke to you, follow along on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Instagram, and subscribe or leave a review to help others find the show. Meaningful conversation can change how we see ourselves and each other. That's why I created Now You're Talking board game, a simple way to spark real conversation. If you'd like a way to start conversations like this with people in your life and be part of the movement to get people talking again, you can join the wait list for the game in the show notes. Let the conversations begin. Now you're talking.
I'm Michelle Abraham, and we are honored to have Adrienne Giffen's Now You're Talking podcast on our High Vibe Podcast Network. For more high vibe shows like hers, head on over to highvibepodcastnetwork.com and grab your free gift from our gift vault from all of our hosts. Until then, stay high vibe.